Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to a brand new spoiler breakdown of the Book of Boba Fett. It's time to break down episode 2, Spoiler Fashion. Welcome to Max Talks. We're talking the Book of Boba Fett, episode 2, full spoiler review. We're not going to really get a breakdown, just talk about some of my biggest points about this episode. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe, ring the bell. I do this video, the Book of Boba Fett spoiler review, every single Wednesday until the show is over. I do other movie reviews, TV show reviews, streaming platform reviews, movie rankings, and a box office breakdown show every single Monday. So please subscribe, ring the bell. Also, comment down below your thoughts. Did you like this episode better than the first one? What are your bold predictions for the last 5 weeks of this show? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comment section down below. And also like the video, the thumbs up button. That's how you support this channel the best way. Let's talk the Book of Boba Fett. So again, last week, I wasn't saying I was disappointed. I didn't really love the episode. And that's how I kind of feel about this one as well. And I do think that this is a step up. And this is a weird thing to say, that I did really think this was the proper way to open the show. I felt like this should have been the first episode of the show. I know we had to do the whole Sarlacc pit thing, but story-wise, this really did a good job balancing, I thought, way better than the first episode from a structure point of view, the past and the present. Much better structure. Last week, it was just very back and forth, like every 5 or 10 minutes, every really 10 minutes, we go back and forth between past, present. This episode is very clear. It's a 52-minute episode with credits, so probably like 45 minutes if you don't count those after credit stuff. So let's just say, 20 minutes were in the present, 25 were in the past. That's what it really felt like to me. That was clearly half and a little more tilted towards the past. The first half of the show was where we left off with episode 1, where Boba and Fennec they try to interrogate this person with the Night Wing. And I forgot what they called the person who works for this organization. The mayor hired him. They go to the mayor pays them, said, this is really our bounty. And the mayor sends them to the same cantina that we saw in episode 1, where we get the big meeting, which is kind of the big place we leave off the present with, which is a meeting in the middle of the area with Boba, Fennec, and the Hutts. These are Jabba's cousins who, under Jabba's name, in their mind, still run Mos Espa, the area. And obviously Boba's the one who believes that he runs the area, which then sets up a lot of different things. Who's working for the mayor? Is the mayor working for the Hutts? All these different things makes this a really, really compelling present time situation. Then we get the big review, one of the bigger Easter eggs of the episode. The Wookiee, who is from deep Marvel Star Wars comics and the Darth Vader comics, Santi, really, really badass Wookiee who in the comics has interactions and works with, at times, Boba Fett, Darth Vader, Obi-Wan, other characters. Very cool to see a comic character being brought to the big screen. And the other thing brought to the big screen in this episode were the Pikes. We'll get to that in just a sec. That's from Clone Wars. But really, this Wookiee, the design is really great. And that's what I say about this whole episode. It's an extremely well-directed episode. It's the whole episode looks really, really beautiful. The sets, obviously, most of this in the VFX room. If you've seen the gallery, where they filmed this, but just beautiful sets, beautiful locations. The costume designs are really, really strong in the show. The makeup, everything is just really, really on point. The score, of course, with Lily Gordon coming back doing the themes. There's another composer who also has a composing credit. So again, the score's really, really great. Also, Tamora Morrison really came to his own in this episode, really as the character, both as a bounty hunter, both as a man looking for help and a person running Mos Espa. I thought this is a complete episode for Tamora Morrison. So after he has his interaction with the Hutts, we go back to the chamber where basically the rest of the episode is about this attack that the Pikes are putting on the Tusken Raiders. So obviously after last week, Boba's pretty much welcomed in very openly by the Tuskens. He's trying to work on training. And then out of nowhere, they are attacked by this train in the sand, which was a super cool idea. It felt very Western, having this whole past episode about Boba and the Raiders trying to get on the train and stop the train. It felt very, very Western. Even we got something like this in a Western film last year called The Harder They Fall. So it felt very, very Western, the direction they went with this, with the past part of the episode. So Boba gets these speeders from the bar earlier in the episode, and he teaches how the Tusken Raiders how to ride. He does this whole plan, and they stopped the Pikes. Now, the Pikes were one of the biggest crime organization syndicates, as they say in this episode as well, in Star Wars, Clone Wars, the animated series. They at times captured, at one time in one episode of Clone Wars, they captured Dooku, Obi-Wan, and Anakin at the same time. They also had interactions with Dooku, obviously with Dooku, Anakin, and Obi-Wan, interactions even as a cameo as part of one of the syndicates. Maul, Crimson Dawn was talking to. Crimson Dawn and the Pikes had a relationship in the last season of Clone Wars. So they are big, heavy crime syndicate people. Seeing them be these kind of like Western style villains, I thought really, really worked. The designs were solid as well. This then leads to Boba basically being accepted. He has this weird like lizard go up his nose for him to get the sword, and basically they put on the outfit that we see him in when we see him return in Mandalorian season 2, which is basically how we end this episode. Basically seeing Boba where we left him, which I thought was really, really smart. I thought this was the ideal opening episode. And I think this is still a really solid episode. I thought last week was good, on the brink of okay. This was actually really, really solid for me. A fun episode, actually adds to the story, but the present stuff now is getting really interesting. I'm wondering the structure of going between the past and the present, how much longer we're doing that, because it feels like we caught up to most of what we need from Boba. We'll see how much past stuff we get in the next 5 episodes of the show. But overall, enjoying the show, not loving the show, but guess what? There's so many more episodes. I'm not going to count out the show. I'm the biggest Star Wars fan there can be. So I'm definitely pumped to see where the show continues. So every week here on Wednesday, we're going to break down the show. So I definitely preferred episode 2 over episode 1, but can't wait to see the more reveals and more mythology in these next couple of weeks of the Book of Boba Fett. If you're new to the channel, please like, subscribe, ring the bell, comment, and I'll see you guys soon.